Hey, what's up guys, Scares here. Get it because I'm fat?
Hi guys, I'm an idiot.
Yep.
Yeah!
I agree.
Yeah!
That's correct.
Let me at least explain. Okay, so I've been playing a lot with the Vaccinator lately, and when I was playing, I remembered my old "Why the Vaccinator Will Never Work" video that I made like a year ago or so. And I've realized that I was actually wrong in that video, and I would like to list all of the reasons why. And just say how the Vaccinator actually works now and actually why it's a good weapon, like a really good weapon. So let me just shout out to my past self here. Hey, past self. Me? Wait, who are you? Are you me? Yes, I'm you, from the future. Oh man, that's amazing. Tell me, does
Insert political candidate you don't like here.
win the election? Shut up, you're an idiot. What? That Vaccinator video you made, total garbage. Everything you said in that video was just garbage. You know, nothing was right. You were completely incorrect. And you should definitely stop saying that it's never going to be good, because that's going to bite you in the butt one day, because it bit me in the butt, because I'm you from the future. Oh, okay. How is it bad exactly? Well, let me tell you. Yes, the Vaccinator, a concept that looked very good on paper, but should have stayed on that paper under a whole bunch of other papers. Why did I ever make that joke? It's not even a good joke. I was so proud of that line, and it's not even good. Though I admit, having a constant resistance to a certain type of damage is wonderful. It's actually really helpful. Like seriously, having a bullet resistance is amazing if there's an enemy sniper on the enemy team, you know? It helps you stand your ground, making it useful for capturing. But why does it fail? And I'm not talking about the insane nerf it has gotten recently. Okay, that's actually irrelevant now because they changed it back. Even before, every conversation about it began with "it's a good weapon," but followed almost always by a "it's neither the medigun nor the quick fix," and that hasn't changed. Well, let me explain my views. The Vaccinator protects against one type of damage, as I said, but rarely on the battlefield are you going up against just one type of damage. Yes, but you can select different types of damages. It's not like really that bad. And when there's like 3 rockets coming towards you and then there's a lonely heavy on the other side of the map, I think the rockets are way more important than the heavy. So select rocket resistance. There'll be rockets and grenades flying towards you, bullets whizzing past, and just when you think you're safe, a pyro will shove his flamethrower so far up your bum that you would never have to cook your meals again because they'd already be heated up in your mouth. Sorry, that was actually good. But the thing is, that rarely ever happens. I'm gonna be honest, that rarely ever happens. I mean, mostly it's just demo men and heavies. Rarely does anyone ever play pyro. And considering there's 2 classes with explosive weapons and almost every other class has bullet weapons, it's not really every damage type all the time. It's mostly bullet and rockets. But I don't think that's the biggest issue this thing has, at least not for me. No, I think what really ruins it for me is, bizarrely, also its biggest strength: the different resistances. When you're healing someone on the battlefield and there's an enemy heavy and soldier coming towards you, you need to make these quick decisions. 1. Do I have the right resistance ready? 2. Should I select bullet or rocket resistance? 3. Is it necessary to use one of my charges? 4. If yes, do I have to use 2 different charges? 5. If yes to that, do I have enough time to select both of them? But most importantly, 6. Am I even able to do all of that in time because I only have a split second to decide? Okay, so that was one of my main worries, but the thing is, you usually don't need to think about that. You just heal someone, and when there's a soldier coming towards you, oh, you know what, explosive resistance. Oh, there's heavy. Oh, bullet resistance. Oh, why not? Oh, I just used 2 charges. Oh, why not? I'm gonna get them back anyway. It's really not a big issue, truth be told. Whereas with the medigun, it would go something like this. 1. Am I healing my patient? If yes, keep healing your patient. If he's overhealed, that'll most likely be enough. If he starts to die, use Uber if available. It's just simpler. Okay, no, that's actually not everything. Mostly you will die if your patient is an idiot, for example. If you use the Vaccinator, however, and your patient is an idiot, you can at least keep him alive for a bit longer. But with the medigun, it's sort of like, you need to, he needs to know what he's doing and such. So it's not that ideal with the medigun. And don't forget, even with the vac, you still need to keep a distance and an eye on pyros and spies and scouts and harassment and the horseless headless horsemen and everything else at once! But that's not too bad, to be honest, because you also have resistance. So if you have bullet resistance, the heavy that's shooting at you isn't going to do much damage to you because you have bullet resistance. And if there's a soldier incoming, you can just select explosive resistance. Excuse me, there's no soldier resistance. But the thing is, about the spies and pyros and marasmus and whatever, that's medic. That's medic, you know. That's just how the game is played. You also need to watch out for that when you play heavy or when you play scout or even spy.
All of this is actually quite stressful, at least for me. I remember seriously tensing up each time I used it, and I eventually stopped using it just because it was easier to lay back, relax, and use the medigun.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Really not anymore. It's not stressful for me anymore. I've actually just laid back and ignored everything about that, and the changes to the Vaccinator made it actually really, really easy to use and way more relaxed.
Furthermore, the problem with selecting the resistances is that you have 3 different choices. Fire, which you'll never ever use, but which you have to keep selecting in order to get to the other 2, bullets and rockets. Those 3 choices are actually way too complex for a simple game like TF2. Name one other weapon where you have 3 different ways of using it. Sure, you need to select different types of buildings and disguises, but those are weapons and you don't use them 24/7 and you don't need to cycle through them.
What? No, that's not too complex. I mean, I get what I was saying back then, but it's not too complex. As an engineer, you have a sentry, you have a dispenser, and you have a teleporter. You have 2 teleporters actually. And as a spy, you have not only invisibility, you also have disguises of all the 9 classes and all of the 9 classes on your team. So that's even more choices. So it's not too complex for a TF2, but I get what I was saying back then.
Another thing, it's not really useful on pubs. Getting your patient realize that you just made him resistant to damage is tricky, because they'll almost always rely on their instincts and bail when they're being shot at, meaning that you waste a charge.
It's actually really useful on pubs, because you can keep your patients alive for way longer than with a medigun. If you're healing a pyro, and the pyro is just running towards the heavy that's been spraying at him for the past 5 minutes, and he doesn't understand that if you get hit by bullet, you die, you can just give him bullet resistance, and he gets hit by less bullet and dies less, so he can actually take out the heavy. With a medigun, he couldn't. He would die in seconds.
I mean, weapons in TF2 only have 2 modes, primary attack and secondary attack. There are exceptions, like the Hitman's Heatmaker, where you can activate the focus with reload, or the Eureka effect, but that's about it. With the Vac, however, you have healing different people, using a charge, and selecting bullet, rocket, and fire resistance. That's 5 things you have to do, 4 if you're always pocketing the same patient. I mean, if I play medic, I'm already a babysitter. I don't want to solve a Rubik's Cube at the same time. No offense, baby team.
That was really mean. That was really mean, me back then.
Remember Dragon Slayer or the old arcade game Tapper? It's like that.
It's not like that.
Now, you might say, but it works if you're communicating with your team properly. But anything can work if your team has a good communication, even everyone going heavy.
Yes, but it's way easier with the Vaccinator. Because if you're pocketing someone, and you can just say, oh, watch out, there's a soldier on the upper right, and he doesn't immediately notice, you can just give him rocket resistance, or whatever, and he'll survive that. Or, if there's a sentry on the other end of the room, you can just say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna give you a bullet and rocket resistance, and you're gonna take out that sentry, and it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, Morty. It's gonna be great.
I have the analogy of fighting games. My brother and I would play a lot of Mortal Kombat against each other, and he would always try to use all kinds of different button combinations against me, while I would just spam the same attack over and over, which worked way better for me than trying out combinations as well. In this case, the Vaccinator are the combos, and me just mashing buttons is the old reliable medigun.
Yeah, but in this case, the Vaccinator would actually win over the medigun. For example, imagine you're healing a heavy and the enemy medic is also healing a heavy, and you have the Vaccinator and the enemy medic has a medigun. You are going to win with the Vaccinator because you can just give your heavy bullet resistance and he's not going to take much damage from the enemy heavy. But the enemy heavy is going to take a lot of damage from you because, obviously, not even the overheal is going to work against that.
It's just more faithful.
That really depends. The medigun is like the all-round weapon, you know, like you can use it all the time. You can use it against sentries, you can use it against, I don't know, demomen, heavies, stuff like that. Even a whole enemy team going a certain class, whatever, it doesn't matter, you are invulnerable, you're going to take out anything. With the Vaccinator, you can't really take out sentries, especially if there's more than 2 sentries, and if there's like, I don't know, let's say 2 pyros, 1 heavy and 2 soldiers coming towards you, you're going to die because you're not invulnerable. Not even the resistances are going to help that much. But If you're just going up against like soldiers or heavies or something like, oh, I just need 1 bullet resistance and then 2 rocket resistances or something like that, it's actually way better than the medigun. Way better. But only in those situations. I mean, let's say like 80% of the time it's going to be really good unless the enemy team has a sentry.
Overall, I don't think I'll ever have a use for the Vaccinator, no matter how Valve will buff or change it.
If I had known.
I'm not saying it's a bad weapon, it's just not my thing.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
If I were to change it, I'd make it so you could see the view of your patient to know what kind of hazards you'll be facing, so you don't have to leave your safe zone for it.
Really? Really? TF2 has already problems. Like, the Source engine can barely handle the game, and you wanna have that? No, that's not. Oh, that doesn't even, like, do much. I mean, okay, you can see your patient's view. That's not going to help you much. I mean, you're mostly behind your patient anyway.
But I think that no matter what happens, I'll just keep using my good old medigun.
Well, no, not all the time, actually. I've been actually using the Vaccinator quite a lot lately. Quite a lot. It's just really good. It's really good. Now, past self. Do you see why you're an idiot? Yes, I do. Good. So please think about that and reflect on that and other things. Idiot. Saying the Vaccinator will never work and things. Oh, wait a minute. I was really mean to myself. Hold on. I hope I didn't discourage him from making videos. Like, I really destroyed his spirit there. Oh, no. If he does that, then I won't be able to make this video. Dang it. Okay, I need to encourage him. I need to list things that are still pretty bad about the Vaccinator that I was right about back then. Okay, having to cycle through all your resistance types, that's actually really annoying still, because I don't need fire. I really don't need fire. Why would I need fire resistance? I barely need that. You still need to leave cover. That's kind of annoying still. Like you shouldn't really have to do that. That's not enough, is it? No, I'm just gonna stop making videos. Oh, well, in that case.